I just had a chance to visit with a wonderful friend of mine, and she just said that she had recently seen my bartering video. And instantly I thought, I can't believe I didn't bring up things that people in her age could barter. Because I really did stress a lot about skills, that you need to have skills. Now, oftentimes, acquiring a new skill, maybe 15 years of medical experience, isn't practical for somebody who's a little bit older. I'm not calling you old, Sandy, but I'm also not calling you young. So what do you do when it comes to skills? What can you bring to the table if you need to start to barter something that you yourself can offer? So say you're a little bit older, 60s, 70s, and you don't have a whole lot of funds or maybe room or resources, whatever, to go and store sacks of flour or soap, bleach, whatever it is. Maybe you're not really super into prepping, whatever the case is. But also, maybe you don't know how to make a lot of stuff, which I would argue at any age you can learn to start making stuff. But also maybe you just did not learn a particular skill. Again, Sandy, not saying you're not skilled, you are very skilled, but that got me thinking about the age group as a whole. And especially because my audience is A, mostly male, and B, the silver foxes. Most of you, apparently, are 65 years and older, so hello and welcome. And even if you're not in that age group, these are things to think about that maybe until you develop a skill, maybe these are the things that you can offer when it comes time to barter as well. Now, this can start now. For example, a friend of mine also has 5 little kids, and she and her husband thought, what would be great? What if you watch my kids while we go on a date, and then we'll watch your kids while you go on a date? Those are things that you can put into practice right now. Let's just talk about some ideas as to what maybe an older person or somebody who doesn't have a lot of technical skills. Maybe you know how to change a tire. Maybe you know how to do an oil change. Maybe you know all this stuff. But there's probably somebody who is actually more skilled, that's known for doing that stuff, who's going to be more useful to other people. So even though you might have that knowledge, maybe that wouldn't be very helpful for you in that situation. Okay? Okay. So not saying you're not skilled, just saying these are other things to think about. Enough disclaimers. One thing you can think about is your presence, your time, your work. Bartering situation, we're probably not going to be going very far from the home. So maybe what you can do is be at that person's home and spend time with the kids while the parents are also there, but also while the parents are taking care of the garden or the canning or the butchering or the many, many, many things that sometimes you cannot do if you have a bunch of little kids running around. Now that requires that you are a trustworthy person, that you possibly already have a relationship with the parents. Maybe you're a grandfather or grandmother type and you're able to help that family with the little kids. The other thing is, say that you are wheelchair bound. You still can do things from a sitting position. One thing, again, along the vein of looking after little ones, you can sit there and tell them stories. Because what we often forget in a barter situation, when you actually are forced to have to barter, is the emotions and the mental health that comes along with that. Like, what's going to be going on? One thing that you are going to need is positivity. You're going to need people who have stories, who know a lot of things. They can sit there, they can read to people, they can just provide an extra body in the room. Those things can be very valuable as well. Just in general, being a willing helper is going to get you very, very far. Not saying no to a job just because you think you are too good for it. Now, let's get a little controversial here and let's talk about accountability. So many people who are older, I have found, I'm just going to say it, they don't take accountability for where they've put themselves in the position they are right now in their life. Some people, I have heard that they are like, nope, it's my fault. We weren't wise with our money. We spent it here. We made bad investments. It's just, we chose to do this. Many older people play the I'm an old feeble person and I have nothing card. And now that I've met so many older people, And I've seen situations from very wealthy to have nothing. A lot of things that I see in common with the people who have nothing and are very vocal about it are the people who make, still now, very bad choices in their life. They had a whole lifetime. Even if they were never taught how to manage their finances, you still have a lot of resources out there. Dave Ramsey has been around for decades. You've still heard financial wisdom from places. And if you haven't done something different and you've always chosen to do the same thing and you've always gotten the same result and you've never liked the result, that is on you. And that applies to every age group, every person. A couple times at some time in your life, just purely being ignorant, I totally understand that. When you've lived many years and you continue to be unwise with your finances or with your health, and you're then saying, woe is me, and I'm where I'm at because of the government, or because of the this or the that. Okay, well, then probably in your life, you not taking responsibility is a through line. So that type of person is not going to be wanted in a poop hit the fan situation where you need to start to barter. We don't want leeches. I'm not saving up for my family to also then carry you. You have to make an effort, but also don't stress if you don't have some really, really honed, excellent skill necessarily. If you can move, and if you can breathe, and if you can talk, you can contribute. And so don't stress out about it, but start to think, develop relationships, start to think about ways that you can contribute. Now back to my friend, Sandy, as I called her out earlier. She could come over here and look after our kids. She has before. And I know that she can take care of our kids and she is trustworthy. So even though she's a little bit older, even though she may not have a ton of skill that people really would be in high demand for in a bartering situation, our friend Sandy could come to our property and help look after things. So she is incredibly useful. The other thing that's very important for us is that she's also very, very dedicated in her faith. She's a good influence for our kids. So that is somebody that we would absolutely value in a time when everybody's low values and morals have caused a whole degradation of society. Having people with high integrity and high morals are the type of people that we would want to have around our kids and that we would want around our home. That fidelity she has as a person is what makes her valuable. So if you are one of the lovely silver foxes that watches my channel, and if you don't have necessarily a lot of knowledge about something or a lot of experience, maybe you're just now getting into homesteading, consider what you can provide as your character and really what you can provide with your hands, the grunt work. Can you sling a shovel? Can you cart a wheelbarrow? Can you read stories to the kids so that the parents could even have a little time away? What can you do that maybe is just thinking outside the box? So again, don't stress about it. I'm sure there's something that you absolutely can offer.